Hi and welcome to So Sporty Talk. On today's episode 6, you will be learning a half-cut crease. First things first, we want to get our space ready to get spicy. So first things first, we're going to open up those blinds and curtains and get some natural sunlight in. Then we're going to plug our tree in, of course. Then, don't forget, you need a candle. Get that natural zen flowing. I'm gonna light this new candle we have, and then we are going to turn on the lights, and we are ready to go. Next, you're ready to dive right in. So we are going to clean up those brows. We are going to be using the tape method, so we're following the lower lash line, and we are going to be prepping the eyes with the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Fairest today. We are using the P. Louise Wedding Wishes XL palette. You can create this look using only one shadow instead of using as many shadows as I do. So if you're a beginner, I would recommend starting with one, and then you can progress and add more as you practice. We are taking the P. Louise E30 in the shade Treasure You, using a packing motion to create our shape. Going back and forth, getting this exactly how you want it. As you go up, you don't want to add any more product to the brush. You're going to use what is already off and using the packing motion to diffuse the line that you have just created. Going to be using the P. Louise E37 to blend her out. Fluff, fluff, fluff. Blend as much as you would like, especially if you're only using one color. You're going to want to blend as much as possible. If not, and you're continuing on to use the second shade, I am using the I Choose You. We are going to be going back in with the E28 from P. Louise as well, applying that directly onto the line of demarcation you have just created. Using that second shade to blend that line, you're going to go back in with your E37 to fluff her out as well. Once you feel like you've gotten this exactly where you want it, you are ready for your final shade. We are using the shade Bond. To apply your final shade for the blend, we are using Bond, and we're going to take our blending brush, the E37 from P. Louise, and we're going to fluff her up into the brow as much as possible. Then we're going to move across the lid as we're blending the last shade, I Choose You, and Bond together to blend her and diffuse her into the eyebrow. To me, this is my favorite part. When you get to blend that last shade up into the brow, that is where you know you're like, oh, final steps is coming soon. So take your time, be patient, going back and forth between your shades and your brushes to get that blend exactly how you want it. You can also put a color underneath where the brow is. I would recommend using Loyalty in this palette. It is a very good color to blend very light shades with. It's not skin tone, but it's closer to white. It is very beautiful. So once you've gotten that, you are ready to move on to the cut crease part. Be patient with yourself, because this is the most tedious part, I feel like, is getting that shape exactly how you want it. So I am using micellar water, and I'm using pointed Q-tips. This is my normal technique. You can use all kinds of other things. People have brands out there that are specially made for cut creases. So I just really prefer it to be a nice clean canvas. So when I'm applying another product, it's not piling on top of what's already there. It is giving you that clean slate that you want. And as you can tell, on the one side of the Q-tip, I do not put anything on it. I like to leave it dry so I can pick up anything that is left behind, or to kind of diffuse right where the blend is going to begin between the concealer. Like I said, this is the most tedious part. Take your time. Trying to make things even is a lot harder than people make it out to be. So looking in a smaller mirror and looking at yourself directly in a bigger mirror you're going to see exactly where your eye needs to meet on both sides. Alright, so once you got your shape exactly how you wanted it, you're going to go in with your favorite concealer. I am using the same concealer I used to prep the lid with, the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Fairest. Don't ask me where I got this brush. I've had this brush for so many years I can't even remember. It is my go-to. Yes, I have to squeeze the brush because sometimes the bristles start to pop out a little bit because it is so old. I do have another one, but she is just my go-to, my number one. I'll probably always go back to her. She is the OG. So I always start in a stamping motion going across where the shape has began. You can always go back in and fill in after you've created the shape. So taking your time using a stamping motion and making sure that you don't have too much on your brush and blending it downwards. Alright, once you get more towards the outside where the shade is and where the concealer are about to meet, you're going to go the opposite way and you're going to make sure there's pretty much slight to no product left on your brush at all. You can see, you flip the brush the opposite way and then I'm pulling it inwards instead of going outwards. You're going to create more of a line if you go outwards than you are if you go inwards. Don't add any more product to the brush. Leave it exactly the way it is, or better yet, take anything off, wipe it off. Give it a nice clean start if need be. It's better to have no product than to have too much product when it comes to the concealer blend part. We are using yours truly to fill in where the concealer is. I'm taking that all the way to the edge of where the concealer and the shade meet. You're going to go in with the Morphe M213. We are going to be taking our darkest shade, Treasure You, and I'm going to start blending. Don't want to take this too far out, so you're just using a nice slight packing motion, but squeezing it outwards instead of inwards. You're going to go in with your next shade, which is I Choose You. You're going to blend that line a little bit more. Don't take it too far in, using a back and forth motion, sweeping outwards, packing it on. You're going to go in with the final shade, which for us was Bond. This part is my favorite part because this is where it really tests your true patience when it comes to blending. I love this part. So going back and forth between the shades just to get that blend just right, so it doesn't look like you just have white and then the dark color. This is giving you a nice soft blend. This last step is totally optional. I am using White Dove on top of the Yours Truly just to add a little bit of sparkle. She's beautiful. I'm using E30 for that. You are ready for the final touches. So add some mascara, some lashes, my darling, and you are done. You have created your first half-cut crease. Thank you so much for watching. Tune into the next episode to see what we're learning next. Get spicy!